Hey, my lovely souls in Scorpio season. Hope everyone is doing well, and thank you for tuning in. Today I'm going to do a video about Scorpio, some advice or help with Scorpio getting over an ex. I did another video in Libra season about advice to get over an ex, so I'm going to do this for Scorpio. Scorpio, if you are struggling with issues from the past or an ex, if it's a recent breakup or a breakup that could just be haunting you from the past, this will be for that, and we'll get some ideas of how to overcome it, possibly what went wrong, things that need to be fixed on your own end, whether it comes to releasing things or lessons that you learned from this that you can apply to future relationships that will help you. So we got after tarot, we have regular tarot, we have angel cards, and then we have psychic tarot for the heart, which is usually good for love readings. So we can get right into it, and I've already shuffled each deck. Some of them are a little stubborn. The after tarot cards are great. They're still new, so they're kind of slippery, and when I try to shuffle them, it's like they just don't want to bend. But okay, so what we can do is we can say, first and foremost, what went wrong in this relationship that you may need closure from, or some sort of comfort in words. So what went wrong in Scorpio's last relationship, if it's been a breakup or an ex? Okay. The Magician in reverse, not a nice card in a love reading. So if this came up and we asked the question, what went wrong? And I'm going to direct this whole reading to the partner for the time being. And when it comes into your part, I will say. So the Magician reversed has to do with deceit and trickery and mind games and dishonesty, and someone who would have been all for show and presented to you lots of things like status they wanted to have with you. They could have made you promises about the future. They could have held you on a pedestal and made you feel and believe that you were going to be together long term. And then somewhere you realized that that was not the case, and you possibly called this person out on some things, and somewhere the relationship turned cold, and you might have just been hanging on a little bit, and the other person was just staying with you for the simple fact that you were hanging on. But the Magician in reverse is no growth. There's blockages, and it may be over many things, and it might have seemed infinite to you that this person presented you with so many possibilities for romance and togetherness, and then it didn't pan out. They may have not had a lot to bring to the table, or they may have been lying to you about what they had to bring to the table, and it turned out when you pressed them for that, they didn't have it. It wasn't available, and it didn't manifest. The whole relationship did not manifest the way it was presented to you in the beginning. So this left you in stagnation and in a period of feeling a lot of ruination from the relationship, and you're still feeling the effects of that. Okay? So let's get into what kind of grief this caused you while the relationship was going on, and then you made this realization. What kind of grief did it cause you? What were your thoughts? What were you thinking about you were going to do about this problem or in relationship? So you were feeling very depressed, very depleted, very let down, sort of like your world got turned upside down and you needed support. I feel like you could have wanted to get married, and maybe that was promised, or you could have wanted children in the future, and that person didn't want children. Because the sun has to do with a child. I usually see a small child, like a boy or a girl. It doesn't matter how you view it. I usually see a boy, but anyway, they could have made that promise to you, and then it came out somewhere. It was sort of like a deal breaker. But anyway, it left you feeling very alone, very cold, very out in the cold. You felt like this relationship it had the potential to be a great success, but it turned out not to be a success. Okay, so let's see, what was the energy in this relationship? What was the force, the driving force, or the dominant energy that was in this relationship? And what was it like? Okay, so the driving force in this relationship with the Knight of Wands was mostly bold, mostly the energy was like high energy. It was no black or white areas. There could have been some arguments or some things done in haste or some decisions made in haste. One of you obviously had the drive to move forward, regardless of where it was going to lead. And sort of in that energy, that's not, to me, I'm feeling that's not the best. So the one who was just driving through the relationship full force, maybe not really had solid plans and just kind of taking it as it was coming. There was a lot of passion. There was a lot of passion, a lot of drive for passion. It was a highly, from what I can see with this card, there was a lot of sexual energy. There was a lot of passion. But behind that too, there was definitely frustration. There wasn't, it would have been like, all in all, the plans that were made were not, they were not able to have follow through with the Knight. And if any way relatable, this is a fire sign. So a Leo and Aries or Sagittarius, and that fiery energy could have been, like I said, argumentative at times, the need to be right, sort of jumping into arguments or fights, wanting to be right. To me, there's also could have been that there was somewhere somehow discussed talk about moving or possibly even changing in residence. Okay, so with that, okay, let's say, what was the final outcome? Okay, well, the Ace of Cups reversed. The final outcome was a unfulfilled promise, a broken promise, unfulfilled love pledge. You were probably hoping to get married and have children, and this person just was not in that energy. They may have promised you this in the beginning, and then somehow everything that transpired here just got turned totally around. Their momentum, their attitude, their desires for the future, their wants and needs, they were unfulfilled just as yours were unfulfilled. Okay, so now what do you need to do? What is the advice you need to move on from this situation or let go in some way? How can you do that? What do you need to do? What's the advice?